right, man. Let's start. Let's get it going. Why don't you introduce yourself and what organization you're a part of?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for the invitation.
Of course.
My name is Francisco Ramirez. I live in Paso Robles, and I am part of the Latino Outreach Council of San Luis Obispo.
Nice.
And I am one of their board members also. And we've been on the board for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Latino Outreach Council is an organization that likes to promote Latino and Hispanic heritage and culture throughout the community. And we also do fundraising and give away scholarships to local high school students throughout the county.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So obviously this is an important time for Mexican culture and Latino culture, and that's kind of why I wanted to have you on and to talk about like Dia De Los Muertos and kind of the cultural significance. So why don't we start with that? Because that's like the most pertinent thing now.
Yes, exactly. Today being November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd, and also October 27th. Believe it or not, it's when it's multiple days. It's not just one day like
yeah, right.
You know, in other things we do Christmas or Thanksgiving, it's one day. Dia de los Muertos is several days.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, October 27th is the day where we remember our pets.
Mm-hmm.
And a perfect depiction is the movie Coco by Disney.
Yeah.
My hat's off to them. They
did a
really
good job.
did the homework.
Yeah.
And they depicted it. And it is, I watch it over and over and I can't see any flaws where it doesn't identify the exact culture of it.
Yeah.
It's not, we're going to do a movie about this, but it ends up being something else. And
right.
It's not.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
I do recommend it. If you haven't seen it,
it's please
a great movie. Watch it. And that's also something that we did as the Latino Outreach Council is we sponsored the movie at the Clark Center in AG.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And with it, it wasn't just a presentation of the movie. It was also with the Mexican orchestra from Mexico City.
Oh,
that
cool.
comes in and played the music live during the movie.
That's
awesome. The movie's music was being played at the same time the movie was, but it is such a different experience.
Yeah.
To hear the live music and you see it on the screen than just the film. It was awesome. So we did that. We sponsored it. It was this past Monday.
Yeah.
And Tuesday live at the Clark Center there in the Rio Grande. And we plan to do it, next year and so forth.
Yeah.
So I invite you to do so and check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
So the 27th, you remember and you do an altar. When you do an altar, well, I'll tell you when I do an altar.
Mm-hmm.
What is an altar? An altar is to give homage, give your respects of those that have left us ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, it's your family member. It can be someone else, a friend. And like I said, your pets for the 27th. And usually I do an altar all in one. And on the altar is you have there what they liked, what they had.
So as far as food or objects or what?
Yes, everything, all of the above.
Okay.
Like for my mother, I put a picture of her frame picture of hers in the middle on top. Things that she liked. Pan dulce. She liked tequila. So I would have a bottle of tequila there on the altar. Pan dulce, tamales. She's the reason I know how to make tamales. She taught me how to make tamales from scratch, from when you're doing the masa and then preparing the husk to do the wrap around the tamales and prepping and doing the meal that goes inside the masa.
Mm-hmm.
Like carne, whether it's chile colorado or beef or chicken or sweet ones too. and those were my favorite.
The sweet ones.
Were the sweet ones. There was ones that she showed me how to make with raisin and cinnamon.
Yeah.
And those were always my favorite and delicious. So those are always dear to my heart. When I have sweet ones, it always reminds me of my mother when she would have me in the kitchen and, we need this, we need that, we're missing raisins, go get more raisins, we need more baking powder, and just little things that, would make finish the meal. And it's in Hispanic culture, cooking is a family thing.
Mm-hmm.
You cook for the family because you cook for those that you love. So when you make it, like people say, it tastes better when you make it with love.
Right.
And I find that to be true.
Yeah.
So you prepare, and you have different shelves on your altar. And she was very religious. So I would put things that had to do with the religion that she did, which was Catholic.
Right.
So I would have Our Lady of Guadalupe, picture there, Christ there, because that was something she was very big on, her faith, and she passed on to me. And she did the rosary, so I would have a rosary there for her also there. And something typical that goes with that is the flower supasuchil, which is an orange flower. What's it called in English?
It's not poppy, is it?
No, it's orangey. It's
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Marigold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The marigold flower. It's very typical to use because I see it in all the very custom to use and to give that in all the burial grounds, in all the cemeteries in south of the border, everywhere Latin America.
And why do they use that?
I believe because it's what you use there, and it's that scent that it has,
Okay.
and it helps that welcoming and makes you feel comfortable, gives you that it's distinct than saying a rose or something else, because roses also have their own scent.
Yeah.
But it's always something typical that's always been there at any cemetery that you would always have easier to get.
Yeah.
And the aroma, and so I would also add and have candles, because she would always light up a candle, for her saints, and have that available. So, it would be things she ate, things she liked to do. She liked to sew, so I would have needles and thread, and there, and one that I still have that I fold and I always put away. Bring it out for Dia De Los Muertos. I bring it out for Christmas and leave it out where the rest of the family can see it and share it that she made. Cross stitch, sewing. So putting that there, and it's just a way of paying respect, and it's really a celebration of life. It's not Day of the Dead. Why do you guys do that or celebrate that? It's not a bad thing. It's not something that has to do with, deciding bad on anybody. It's just remembering and actually just celebrating of life of those I have left ahead of us.
Yes,
That's
correct.
what it is.
Right. And this is like the time of year to do that.
Correct.
And there's no other time in the year that you guys stop. It's kind of like a stopping, right? Like reflecting on the people that have passed away too, right?
Correct.
Because there's no other time in the year that you guys do this, right?
Not big like we do.
Yeah.
This celebration all over Latin America. But it's I remember my mom all the time. Since she left me.
Right.
She's always in El Corazon.
Yeah. Right.
But I would say, worldwide, these are the days that we concentrate on doing that, on paying respect and showing, that celebration of life,
right,
for those that have gone ahead of us.
Yeah, right. And then do you go? Well, let's back up actually. So you said the 27th is for the pets. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but then you had a couple other dates in there too. Is there specific things that happen on those dates?
Not specific, but just remember, like I said, I remember the 27th is for pets. Today, the 1st, For our younger kids, let's say babies that are born and pass away right away, las almas, we call that spirits or souls.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day would be for older adults.
So the first is like for babies, kind of,
Yeah,
and then for the second is like older or adults.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And did you do anything like so for those 3 days that we talked about, 27th, first, and the second? Do you guys do anything different for each day to celebrate, whoever has passed on, or it's just the altar that you said?
Just the altar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
nothing
then-
different.
So then, do you bring out? So instead of the 27th for your mom, do you bring it out then, or do you bring it out the first, or does it matter? Or
No, it's not just bringing it out like like a Christmas tree. It's something that you start building and you start working on because you have different layers.
Mhm.
So I would also add, we used to have a pet called Bola and passed away also, and that was another pet that was always dear and near to my mom.
yeah,
So it's kind of clumped together. So I had a picture on this last altar of when they were both in the same picture. One was when we took him to Morro Bay, and he was running all over the place. And he ran to mom, and I happened to get that capture that picture.
yeah,
And then another time it was when she was always on her couch, and this reminds me, feels nice and comfortable.
yeah. You
right
can
here.
sit back, whatever's comfortable,
know?
man. You can pull the mic back.
And she was sitting on her couch, and the dog was right there with her.
Yeah.
Just always, keeping her company all the time, being around her and stuff like that. So I happened to take a picture of that, so I had that on there too. And that brings those two together.
Mm-hmm.
Pets and her and what she liked. She liked him, and he took care of her.
Yeah,
So I know that they're both resting and watching us, but this is the time that not just remembrance and celebrating their life, but also is traditional in Latin culture that we say we accept the souls to come back to us and be around us and be with us. Is what I remember of it.
okay. And that's kind of what your mom started with you, right? She did the same thing for your relatives, I'm assuming,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so do you keep this up year round, or at least the altar, or do you, like you said, you don't bring it out?
No, we just we don't keep it year round. We just set it up for this time.
Okay.
And then take it down after like later on by the time Thanksgiving's here, the altar's already gone. And
And gone.
put away.
Interesting. So in Latin and Latino culture, they you were just saying like the souls come back to you, like kind of like this week, or or allow them to,
Correct.
right?
Which is what we do. The marigold flowers allow that smell, that scent, their candles, everything that they liked, and put it there and kind of help them find the way back
Oh,
to
okay.
us.
Yeah.
Is what in general it is.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And then do you guys go, I mean, you have the altar and stuff, but do you also go to like the graves, like the cemetery as well?
Yeah.
Oh, is there something different that you guys do there, or the same thing? Like I've seen like in LA when it's this time, we driving by the freeway and there's like everybody out there having a party, and
Correct.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah. So no. The same thing. You have your altar at home.
Yeah.
And then you would go to the cemetery. If you're not there all the time and you don't go all the time, I know I'm not, because I took my mom. She was here with me. She lived here in California, and when she passed away, one of her things that she would always say, and she told every family member, she didn't want to stay here. She wanted to go back home. So I took her body and buried her in Guadalajara, Jalisco, because that was her wishes.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, during this time, we also go to the burial site and clean it up,
Yeah.
because it's not always clean. We're
Right.
not always there. But yeah, clean that all up, and then bring her more flowers, another candle, light her up another candle. and just pay your respects there also.
Do you also bring like food and stuff like that, like you did at home, or no?
We do.
Yeah, you do.
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
kind
then
of a little mini altar there, right, with what fits there.
Yeah, and then like, do you guys stay there all day? Like, I've seen like where down in LA, like I said, it is a party going on at the cemetery.
Right.
And I don't know if that's like a more Americanized thing or not, or
no, that is the typical Latino Hispanic because, like I told you, I would put a tequila bottle on the altar, but then you also partake and take a drink and just say, I miss you, I wish you were here. I know you're in a better place, and please keep looking out for me.
Yeah, which is awesome.
So then, by the end, the bottle starts going down because you keep going back.
Yeah, of course. Are there any special meals or anything that you have this week? I mean, you said tamales, obviously. Like, are you having anything special?
Not well, yeah, but I wouldn't say special, but just things that that they like to enjoy. So then definitely, I did a whole pot of tamales but I also shared with friends, with coworkers, and said, these are tamales, I made this week, for you guys to enjoy. They're like, oh, and then one time I took tamales to work and they were sweet. They were nothing but sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, wow, these are sweet. There's no meat in them. I was like, no, these are sweet tamales.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I never had them. I was like, no. It was like my mom used to make them. She's like, and who made it? I was like, I did.
Yeah.
It's her recipe.
Right.
But it's what I remember that she, told me to throw in there.
Right.
And that's what I did. And they're like, wow, I haven't had sweet tamales. I usually just have beef or chicken.
Right.
Well, there's different varieties.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I tell them, well, this is what my mom taught me.
Yeah, which is great. And keeping her memory alive,
And they're thrown off. They're like, wow, you do tamales? Yeah.
Yeah, because we do. I don't really have any of this, tradition, so I'm like super interested. But my mom would always do tamales at the end of Thanksgiving. But I mean, we're a little earlier for
Christmas.
that.
Yeah, it's time for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. Yeah,
it's a Christmas thing.
Christmas thing for sure.
Pozole, tamales. Yeah,
exactly. So where does this all? I don't know if you know, but it obviously comes from Mexico. Like it's more of a cultural thing there. But where did it start down there?
No, well, it's got its roots from Christianism.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes back, but then also it goes back to the Mexican Indian roots. The Mayans, because they celebrated. They knew that death was also part of life.
Right.
It's not just, you live and that's it. No. Death is a continuance of life. Death is part of life.
Yeah.
That we all do and are going to endure and be a part of.
Right.
So definitely has Mayan history into it, mixed in with Christianism from, the Spaniards that came over, because everything was blended in when you have, them coming into what was already here, which was all the Indians with their cultures and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that is that where that blending comes in.
Yeah. So let's talk about you're part of the Latino culture. Was it association? Excuse me. And how did that get started?
Well, Latino Outreach Council has been around in San Luis Obispo for, I'm going to say, over easily 30 years. One of the founders, who is current president right now, is C.R. Lara.
Mm-hmm.
He's our current president, but he's also one of the original founders of the organization. to promote and show and teach culture to the rest of the community.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
But it started that long ago.
Yes.
Nice. And then it's just kind of gone on from like yourself, and kind of taking the mantle and kind of running with it a little bit.
Yeah, and being a part of it, correct. Like today is Friday.
Yep.
The 1st. On the 3rd, we're going to be celebrating Dia de los Muertos at the San Luis Obispo Mission.
Yeah.
Right there at the plaza. It's free to the public. I know by this time it'll probably be late when you broadcast this. But just so people know, I mean, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
It's not the first year. We're going to do it next year, so we invite everyone to come on out, celebrate, partake. The altars that we do are also public, so if you have a picture of someone that you love that has left us already, and you want to partake, come on down, bring the picture frame. We're not responsible for it. You pick it up also.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
come in,
Totally.
partake. Put the picture there at the altars. And join us. I mean, we have food vendors. We have other vendors that don't sell food that have cultural things also that you might want to partake. Like you see the shirt I have on right now.
Yeah.
Con la calavera, which is a skull. But it's something that, I mean, I wear this year round. I don't just wear it for this weekend or for today.
Yeah.
It's culturally acceptable. I have different calavera shirts, so I just wear them all the time, not just today or so.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that's also embedded in me. It's death is part of life.
Yeah.
It's not just the one day, or it's not right now. It's something that we're all going to be a part of.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And then you have other events kind of coming up. Like, do you have like anything else coming up like further after the 2nd, or sorry, was it Saturday? Right, you said.
It's the 3rd, November the 3rd.
Yeah.
And it's on Sunday at the plaza. Not coming after, no. One other thing that we did do was last weekend also, we celebrated Dia de los Muertos in Paso Robles at the downtown park.
Yeah, that was big.
Yes.
Yeah, that was popping.
We had an awesome showing. People loved it. I got nothing but positive, how do you say it, comments afterwards and telling and text, and people were telling, wow, they loved, because we have, part of it is to show the culture. So we had ballet folklorico there, and we're also going to have it on Sunday at the plaza in San Luis Obispo. But we had in Paso Robles, we had ballet folklorico, 3 different dance groups. We had an Aztec dance group.
Oh, cool.
That also came in from Arroyo Grande and performed and did an awesome. They helped us open the ceremony and stuff. So that was awesome. And we're also going to have the Aztec dancers at the plaza in San Luis Obispo, as we have every years in the past. And come in. We're going to have mariachis also at the plaza in San Luis Obispo. Singers, live music. So come in, enjoy a little bit of Hispanic, Latin culture. We're going to have plenty of food vendors. We had some delicious food vendors at Paso Robles downtown park. And then we're also going to do it at the San Luis Obispo Plaza there at the Mission. And come and check out, taste the culture. I have one food vendor that specifically says she's going to do clayulas, which is a special dish from Oaxaca. And then she's also going to be serving and having mole.
Oh, nice.
Which is also from Oaxaca. And then I have other ones that are doing tacos, nachos, different variations of different Latin food. So come on down, check it out. I think one is going to have tamales also.
Yeah.
So, I'm inviting anyone and everyone to come on down and partake and see what the celebration is about.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. There seems to be a lot more people and more events happening. I think there's something different happening here in Sunken Gardens, or if they haven't had it already, but also a Dia de los Muertos thing going on too.
They did tell me, yes, I spoke to one of the staff members, but I don't know all the details, but they did, and I was like, oh, wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You're doing it. They're like, yeah, we're also doing Dia De Los Muertos in downtown. I was like, that is awesome. Because I also partake in the Tamale Festival
Oh, okay.
that they do every year here
Right.
in the Atascadero. I actually do the announcing for all the performers right there at the Colony. What do you call it? Center?
At
The building?
the Sunken Gardens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Colony,
yeah.
Colony building.
Yeah. Oh, the Colony Park. Yeah, Colony or City Building, whatever it is.
City building.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you like? Is it a lot to organize events like this on your end, as far as getting all these moving pieces to get there at the same time? Is it a lot?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
to put on, right?
You become part of a group that's getting organized, doing things. You start setting up a timeline. You start making a list. Well, we need this, we need that. Well, what are we gonna do for the performers? Where are they gonna perform? What part? What location? What area? So you start figuring out logistics. There's a lot of logistics that goes into the planning. Taking time, getting the whole group together, agreeing, on certain things, or the time schedule, also, or when things get started, or to build. So it's definitely, it's fun, but it does take time and a lot of planning.
Well, and this time of year, I'm sure, like you have what you had, like you having 3 events in a week, 2 weeks, like that's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot to do.
But it's fun.
Yeah, of course.
But it's
right?
fun.
Yeah.
It's
hopefully you can
enjoyable.
relax and enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Once all that hard work's
It's
done.
very enjoyable. What we do.
Yeah, because you got Paso, you just had AG, and then you got San Luis coming up. Are you planning those simultaneously?
No, it's just the way it worked out. It just happened. But definitely something we did have in mind was not to do it the same day.
Well, yeah.
San Luis Obispo and Paso.
Right.
Because then you would take away from people that would want to go to both.
Totally.
Or have been used to going to San Luis Obispo and they want to come and check out the Paso. You take away from that.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. So what, if anything, are there any like misconceptions about this day or anything that, information that's wrong out there that people assume?
Well, yeah. I think some people, when you translate it, we say Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
In Espanol. When you translate it, it says Day of the Dead.
Right.
And some people, just a legitimate, complete translation, they think of it negatively because you're saying dead.
Right.
The word dead or Day of the Dead. Where, Hollywood depicts, all these other horror movies or Halloween movies.
Right.
It's always terrifying and scary and, someone's being injured and stuff. Where it's just the translation says Day of the Dead, but it's really more of Day of Remembrance and a celebration of life of the loved ones that have left us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I could see that, definitely. Because your knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, like, what's going on there? But, definitely as I've learned more about it, and especially, it's not as, morbid as it sounds. It's kind of quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause you got to look more than that translation.
Yeah. And sometimes things just don't transfer over. You know what I mean? There's not really there's different words in Spanish that just, if you translate it, it kind of doesn't make any sense in English. Like, I forget what it's called. Oh, it's like when you sneeze, and what do they say about, like, when you sneeze and instead of saying God bless you, and they say something else in Spanish.
Salud.
Yeah, but it was something else. It was something. Isn't it like a frog or something? What's the frog? You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like Sally. It's something like
Sana colita de
yes, yeah, that. I can never say it, obviously,
right,
but yeah, I had somebody tell me what it means, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Right.
And she translated it in English, and she's like, it just doesn't.
Some things don't.
It just doesn't make any sense in English.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Sorry.
Sana colita de rana.
Yes.
Mitad para ti, mitad para tu hermana.
Yeah.
That is what I remember the whole collection. But that's actually like not when you sneeze, but more when you get injured.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
say you fall
Yeah.
or something, and they're gonna go, rub it and say, "Oh, it'll be better."
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of like that. Like you fell and you hurt something, and pobrecito, it'll get better.
Right.
Sana, 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 colita de rana.
Yeah.
So that it's to make them feel better.
Right. But what does it translate into? Just as like
Nah,
nothing, right?
Yeah,
You're
it's
like
difficult to translate it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to make the point that sometimes things just don't come over.
Well, I think that was a great point you said. That, the translation Dia de los Muertos for us. Oh, okay, we know what it is.
Yes.
And then you translate it to English. It does have that sound of morbid because you use
Yeah.
the word Day of the Dead.
Right.
It is morbid, but it's not a bad negative
Right.
morbidity.
Right. Exactly. Definitely. Yeah, man. Anything else that you want to add, or anything else you got going on? Kind of before we wrap this up, because you got a meeting coming up here, so we're trying to wrap this up and get you going up.
No, I just want to invite anyone and everyone to come on down. Dia de los Muertos is an awesome celebration. I know some of the colleges have also done something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Cuesta College for sure. I knew they were doing Dia de los Muertos celebration. I forgot what dates they were on there, but I knew they were doing something. So it's more opening out, sharing with everybody else, not just one group like us, Latino Outreach Council out of San Luis Obispo. And then the one we did in Paso Robles, it was in collaboration with the Hispanic Business Association of Paso Robles and the Paso Robles Downtown Main Street Association. It was a collaboration of those two organizations doing it there. And I'm a part of the Hispanic Business Association in Paso Robles also.
So are these events getting bigger, though, every year?
Well, this was the first time in Paso Robles to do it at the park, publicly, completely open to anyone and everyone, and a free event where everybody came in at no charge.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a big family event.
Yeah, totally. And I love that there's like family events to do with the kids on the weekends, and stuff like this too. That like I don't have this culture is not really. I mean, I know a little bit, but I'd like to expose my kids to it. You know what I mean? Even though it's fine to watch Coco, but like just go and experience it at the park. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
is also great. It's great that you guys are doing it.
And like you said, bring and expose your children to it, because it's awesome. Because some of the ballet folclóricos, it's just groups of children.
Yeah, right.
Dancing, and when they see it, they're like, "Oh, they're dancing. Well, maybe I can do that."
Yeah, right.
And experience other culture and learning how to dance. Something else that's beautiful.
Yeah.
To inspire them to want to do and learn something else that's not in their everyday life.
Right, exactly.
And I think we should promote that.
Totally.
And if they want to, hey, mom and dad, that looks nice. I would like to try and get informed and see where they're teaching it, where they're practicing it, and, support them and being a part of it.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
nothing wrong with that.
And then, the food's amazing too. So that's, exposing them to all the different foods. Like, my kids always want, what's it called?
Arroz? Frijoles?
No, the, oh man, what's it called? The fried pigskin. What's it called?
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones. They're like, come on, give me some of that. I'm like, don't eat too much of that.
Right.
Just eat a little bit. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do they like the regular kind or the spicy kind?
They like both, but they do like the spicy kind.
I like both.
Yeah, they like both, but they'll eat both of those things. But yeah, they'll eat the spicy stuff too.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good. All right, man. Anything else you want to add? Any events coming up other than this weekend?
Coming up, I don't
like November, December.
No, I've been tied up and just getting these
sure
three different ones, processed. Yeah,
it's a lot. And I'm sure, like after this week, you're like, like it's done.
But it's enjoyable.
Yeah, sure.
It's something I enjoy doing, and I like to teach what I know.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And to get together with different groups, different organizations, and get, different projects going.
Yeah.
And having it done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then this is going to happen again next year too, right?
That's right.
So we'll be more on the time next time coming around.
Yeah,
but
we'll do it earlier.
Yeah, we'll do it earlier for
Yeah.
sure if you're not busy planning,
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
No, we'll make time. We'll make time coming earlier.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, expect us to do it again in Paso Robles because, like I tell you, it was overwhelming. The people that were there, they all liked it, enjoyed it. And San Luis Obispo, we always had, the support there of the city and the county supervisors there also. So come on down, enjoy, taste some foods maybe you haven't tried. Like I said, the one lady that's going to be there as a food vendor is going to have clayulas, and that's just a typical dish from the state of Oaxaca, and also mole.
Mole's great.
Mole, everybody knows.
Everybody
but,
loves mole.
everybody's...
But they're all different.
Yes.
They're all different.
Yes.
And which I find really interesting too. It's like every region has their own mole spin on it.
Correct.
And
that goes for all dishes too. I mean,
sure,
because a certain dish in the state of Jalisco is made a certain way or has certain spices. Where you go to Veracruz on the other side of the coast, and then you go northern or south. Everybody has their own touch, their own spices to each dish. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it's a really complicated. I feel like it's complicated. It takes like weeks to make, right? The mole, right?
Not weeks, but it takes time because it depends who's making it. You add certain spices that you don't have with you every day. You have to get. I mean, I remember my mom getting peanuts, almonds, other seasonings, and then she would crush them in this Mexican blender, which we call molcajete.
Oh yeah, I got one of those.
It's a rock carved out, and then you have its own little rock also, so that you crush everything else and crush everything good. And that would be a perfect translation of a blender. That's an old school blender down south of the border. Right. And now we have the electric one, where you press a button and zzz.
Yeah, right.
But it also tastes different.
Yeah, definitely.
When you do it in the molcajete.
Yeah, totally.
A little hot sauce. You want to, throw in your garlics, your tomatoes, your serranos or jalapeno and cilantro, and it's different taste from it on the blender.
Definitely.
Even though you're crushing it, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I got one of those when I got them. I didn't know to season it. Obviously, I washed it, but like there's a certain way you're supposed to season it.
Treat it.
And
correct.
I did not know that. Treat it. My coworker
treat it first before you use it.
Yeah, my coworker's like, "Oh my gosh." Did not know how to do that because there's no instructions on the box to do it.
No.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'll wash it, clean it, whatever. And
right.
No, it's not how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. So,
but all right, well, we can wrap this up, man. Because you got a meeting here. So, where can people find you? But like the website that you guys have all these events on.
Well, one of them is the Latino Outreach Council.
Okay.
We have the website. We have a Facebook page also, and then the one in Paso Robles at the Downtown Main Street Association, and also the Hispanic Business Association of Paso Robles.
Okay.
We have websites and Facebook pages also. Or you can also look me up, Francisco Ramirez. I have a skull on mine. And I post and promote all the events that we do.
Yeah, okay.
So people can go on there, look me up, like me, and then check out the post, see what you want to go to, what you don't want to go to.
Yeah.
And, plan out a weekend.
Definitely. Sweet, man. Let's wrap this up. I'm gonna turn the stuff off.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.